Things are bad over at Eufy. And this actually happened quite a few days ago, less than a week. But yeah, I was completely oblivious to all these problems and the drama happening with Eufy. And basically, so here's the basic premise of the matter. Eufy advertises with their security cameras, their security stuff, that it doesn't send stuff to the cloud. That it's all local storage. You can opt in for like the monitoring stuff on certain ones, but in general, you don't have to pay a subscription fee. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It stores it locally, and you're supposed to be able to feel confident in knowing that, well, nobody's able to see your stuff. That's not the case because Eufy has been sending stuff to their servers. And here's the thing, they're not sending the video clips. And this is something, maybe it's not even that big of a deal. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal if they actually came out and they said, look, we do send certain things to the server. And what it is doing is, you know how if you, well, you may or may not know, I actually have a lot of Eufy stuff. I have Eufy doorbell, Eufy security cameras, outdoor and indoor, Eufy floodlight security camera. I got a lot of Eufy stuff. I think that they make exceptionally good hardware. I think that the software is good, and I think that they work well. They're integrated well, and I've tried other stuff like Arlo, and I've tried stuff like Nest. Stuff sucks. Or the Ring. Like, I don't like any of that stuff. The Eufy is the best that I've found out of the ones I've tried. Well, if you have it, the way that it works is basically if you've got it connected and set up, then it'll send you like little pictures, like little screenshots. It looks like little thumbnails, or it gets picture like face data. So if somebody walks up to your front door and it's like, hey, you've got somebody, their motions detected, it takes a picture of their face and you get it on a thumbnail. Basically, I mean, it'll pop up on your watch. If you got an Apple Watch, it'll pop up on your phone. You can see who it is. That way you can at a glance briefly take a look at it and go, oh yeah, my wife got home from work and she's walking up to the door, or it's the post office guy. Well, that's something they send to their server, and then they send it out. Apparently they can't do it directly in a normal text message. It can't be done directly from your server. I don't know. I don't know all the semantics and all the things behind it, but it's misleading when Eufy's saying that, look, everything is local, we're not monitoring your stuff, it's not coming to our servers, stuff's not getting sent outside of your house. And here's the other thing. You have to look at it and go, well, this looks suspiciously bad. I mean, at face value, you want to take things and say, there's probably goodwill behind this. They're just doing it so they can enable this feature, which is pretty cool. I do like the feature. However, I wasn't aware they were sending it and even storing it. So here's the thing, and apparently somebody else tested this and like they recorded something, and supposedly if you delete it on your end, it should delete it on their end, but then they were still able to see it, like, I guess on the server, even after they deleted it on their end. But there's more stuff. We're going to keep talking about this because, well, I think it's pretty bad. And I think it kind of rubs me the wrong way because here's the thing. We all know that, well, China likes to farm data, especially from the US, and they like to get biometric data. They use TikTok. They basically, if you put something out on the internet, they want access to the information. So whenever it comes to, one, Eufy being a Chinese brand, when there are these Chinese brands, a lot of times they have like obligations to the CCP. They have to like basically give them whatever. At least that's my understanding. And, well, whenever they're farming and basically taking this face data, the face biometric data, not your biometric data they're scanning, but when somebody comes up and they're scanning a face, they're getting that information. So, I mean, I can't sit here and say there's no ill will behind this. It's not completely innocent, but it looks really bad when you advertise your hardware and you advertise your security services saying everything's local, and then you find out that these elements are getting sent back to their server. So there's that. Also, it's not as secure as you think it would be. Apparently, some other guys who are much more better at this and know how to do security stuff did some more testing and found out that you can actually tap into the security feed stuff and view stuff on your security network if you get a simple URL. Like, basically, you just need a simple URL that's not like pass encrypted or any of that stuff. If you can guess what it is, if somebody can hack it, if they can guess what it is, they can tap into your security feed. Now, I think there was a stipulation that it had to be actively being watched. So let's say if you're recording and you go in, you take a look at your camera and you're recording it or you're viewing it, I think maybe maybe it opens up a port. I don't know. I don't think somebody can just use whatever the link is that would be generated and go directly in and open your security camera. But this is particularly troublesome. Now, if outside cameras, maybe not that big of a deal, but if I had inside cameras, and well, I actually have one, may have to take care of that soon. But here's the thing. If it's an inside one and it's actually actively recording or it's actively on and or monitoring, I don't know what the current state is that it requires, but if somebody were able to get a hold of that, you could open that up with VLC, which is a media player. Simply using that link with the VLC media player, you could view and access a video stream from somebody's security feed. And I mean, there's a lot of stars that would need to align for this. Like, I don't want to make this seem like you can just get a simple link, somebody could guess it, and then they can go in and they can start watching your video, which is kind of closely what it can be done, but I believe that it actually has to be open and streaming at the time, not something. So they would need to know when the event happened or when the event was triggered to actually be able to do that. And for somebody to be able to do this stuff, like we're talking like serious bad actor with like serious technological capability kind of stuff, but just the fact that it's not encrypted and that all you need is a simple link to be able to access it, which, I mean, it would be kind of hard to guess. I mean, it's not like you could just go out there and just magically guess. I don't know how many, if there's a standard link, if there's a standard server name. I don't know all these things. I'm just going off of all the stuff. I read quite a few things. I watched Linus's video. There's a lot of guys who are dumping them as sponsors. There are a lot of guys who get a lot of money from Anker. And I've worked with Anker for a long time. Like, I've had a really good working relationship with Anker. That's why I started reviewing Eufy stuff in the first place. Before I even started making YouTube videos, I was writing review articles with the community review team on mobile nations, with Android Central, with Crackberry, with iMore, with Windows Central. I wrote a lot of articles there, and I covered a lot of this stuff. So, you know, I covered a lot of the robot vacuums. I've covered the cameras. I've covered the smart stuff. I've done a lot of work with Eufy, with Anker, with Soundcore. So, yeah, there are some people who are taking this to the extreme of like recommending you get rid of the cameras, recommending that you don't buy them, and they're canceling their contracts with these people as sponsorships. They don't pay me any money. I'm not going to go that far. And here's the thing. If your camera's like just sitting around and it's looking at a fence or it's on the side of your house, it's not looking at anything that's particularly important, I don't think there's a lot of harm there. I mean, what are they going to see? The dog in the backyard? So, you know, a bigger concern would be like, let's say, an indoor camera. I do have one in my living room that, let's say, I mean, hypothetically, somebody could possibly access. So that's something I'm not cool about. And the other thing is, I'm not cool with the fact that they're farming this data and sending it back to their server. Whether they're using it for the purpose of sending me a notification on a text message that lets me see face data for whoever shows up on my doorstep. Are they also sending it back to China? Are they sending it to a big server in the sky? It's going to the dark web, and China's farming this and forming more biometric data based off of what they're stealing from information in the U.S.? I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and point fingers and try and make everybody out to be bad actors. But when this stuff comes to light, especially when it's advertised, and that's one of the things I liked about it. Whenever you get a lot of these other security services, you get the Arlo's of the world, you get the Nest of the world, they want you to sign up for monitoring, they make you pay all this money monthly. That's one thing I always loved about Eufy so much. Everything was local, the storage was integrated into the home hub. It felt like it was pretty closed off, and you didn't have to worry about somebody being able to steal access to those videos, or that they weren't being sent somewhere and stored or being monitored on a third-party server. I like all that stuff, but whenever you start peeling back the layers of this rotten onion and find out that this is contrary to their policy, and even though they put out an update, well, they put out a notice, basically it's basically just a disclaimer saying that stuff can be sent off and that they're sending off these thumbnails and these pictures and this face data. But yeah, I'm not crazy about it, and I just want to let you guys know, because yeah, I've made a lot of videos in the past. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I have here on my house, I've covered as far as videos, like the flood spotlight security camera, like the wireless security camera setup, the Eufy 2 Pro cameras or whatever's I have, the doorbell. I even have the security lock on my office. So it pains me because I really do like their products. I think that they make excellent products. I think that the interface is good. But this is something that people need to be made aware of, so you can make a decision on whether you feel comfortable working with this brand, having this brand in your house, having it set up, putting it in sensitive areas, and whether you want to rely on it or not, and to what extent they're actually using this information that they take, right? So that's it. I am glad I got my LED lights installed the other day so I could put the red lights on. I mean, this wasn't like a big hyped up rant, but it's more like, look, let you know what's going on. You can make your own informed decisions on what you want to do, how you want to do this stuff, whether you want to buy in the future, whether you want to use the stuff you have now, all that good stuff. I don't think it's the biggest like end of the world, but I think it is a violation of our trust as people who have bought into the brand, believing that we're getting one thing and that they do business one way, and then there's this kind of loophole that they're not really doing what they say they're going to do. So I don't know. Sound off in the comments if you have thoughts and feels on this. We can talk about it, but I'm going to wrap this one up. So if you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I will get back with you. Hopefully I articulated this and I presented it in the proper manner as I understood it. But if you want to do some more information diving, you can find it. It's all over the internet. So that's all I got. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.